Rob Taylor was my trading mentor, and he is not with us anymore in this physical world. I started learning from him in September 2021, remotely. I was a terrible student. It took me a long time to start understanding what he's trying to tell me. I took his full course in June 2022. I traveled to the UK. I learned from him live, face to face. We had a great time. And eventually, he turned my trading upside down. It wasn't without him that I achieved what I achieved. He gave me all the knowledge and all the tools that I needed. Nobody else on this planet, no other teacher, no other source like book, forum, or YouTube or whatever, nobody told me the things that he told me, because he was an actual professional trader, not a con artist. He was a phenomenal trader. If only we could be a part of what he was. Now, on July 22nd, 2022, I had the best trading day in my life, measured in pips. 1 month after we met in the UK. I made 365 pips. Not immediately on that day, but for the trades that were opened on that day. 365 pips, that's the number of days in a year. 365 times 2. 2 years later, on exactly the same day, July 22nd, Rob passed away. He had cancer, and in the beginning of this year, he was in the hospital. And after that, he was released, and in the beginning of July, I got a message from him that he's in the hospital again. And he asked me to take care of his trading room in case something happens. And I thought what this could mean, like in case something happens. So I asked him, so what do you mean by that? Do you mean that you could die soon? And he replied to me that yes, I could go on any moment because I have sepsis. I asked him, what hospital are you in? But not receiving a reply for a few hours, I thought, shit, I mean, I might not be able to go to meet him in the hospital. There might be not enough time. So I wrote him a message, a long message, which was like maybe farewell message, maybe my final message to him. And yeah, it turned out that was the case. So for about a month, more than a month, I didn't hear back from him, and I was starting to think that, yeah, most likely he's not here anymore. And in the end of August, I received a confirmation from his wife with a video, also from the funeral or celebration, as they call it, ceremony. So, as I say, Rob was a phenomenal trader. When I look at his trading statements, I just can't understand what kind of beast he was. I tried to replicate his results, but I just couldn't. I hope I could someday in the future, but now I'm not even close to what he was doing. And I can't understand what and why. I mean, is it lack of knowledge? Well, probably it's not. Because really, we talked a lot. He gave me all his knowledge. If there is anything missing, I mean, it's maybe 10%, but it's not meaningful. I mean, if I have 90%, I should be doing better. I'm doing well, but I mean, when I look at his reports, I mean, it's amazing. So maybe the problem is here in the mind and psychology. Maybe my subconscious programs are doing some disservice to me. I don't know. So yeah, talking about Rob, I got to know that he, in his 20s, he even formed a musical band called By Design. And he looked like a rock star, and he was playing in the UK on the stage. Later in his life, what he did, he learned to be a heating engineer and a plumber, and he founded various businesses, mostly kind of tradies, services businesses, until he went into forex trading. And forex trading turned out to be his most successful venture. He was a kind and caring man. In the world of forex trading, this almost never happens. Most of the people, not everyone, but most of the people are only looking after their own tail. They're very greedy people. They create various kinds of online courses for which you pay a lot of money, and which serve no purpose at all. It's a game, you know. You don't become profitable. You don't become consistent. You don't get to know what professional traders know. And you pay a lot of money, and they don't care about you at all. You can't get one-on-one with those guys, or if you can, it will be expensive, very expensive, and they won't teach you how to trade. They won't make predictions in live mode, and if they make, their predictions will not hold. So Rob was exception. Not only he was exceptional trader, but he was exception in the teaching world. He didn't care about money, about amassing money from his students, because he understood that students don't have much money because they're learning to be professional traders still. So he would always give more than you asked or expected, and he didn't charge a lot for what he gave. And his mentoring was free forever, you know, or until he was alive. So what he left us is a legacy, is a big legacy. In our Skype group, there are 24 people. 24 people, okay, minus himself maybe, 23 whom he taught and who are able to trade like he was trading. Not all of us have reached our full potential yet, but it's amazing. It's an amazing small circle of people. And I know that our goal in life is to build upon his legacy and to achieve new heights. Unfortunately, Rob will not be able to see our bigger and bigger achievements and the service to society that we'll be able to do with those achievements. But maybe we'll meet in our next lives. Maybe I'll meet Rob, if you're watching this. Maybe I'll meet you in this life already. Maybe you'll become my mentee. Who knows? But I didn't think that it will happen so quickly, really. I thought we have more time. I thought we'll meet again. I thought I'll get to know him better as a person, not just a trader. But time flies faster than we want. Some of his last words that were read during the celebration ceremony on August 9th, 10:45 in local UK time. I will not read the entire words. In the beginning it was a quote from Steve Jobs from his speech at university, the famous speech, in which Steve said, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you certainly will be right." I will read Rob's words after the quote, which was a few paragraphs. "Too many people fear death. Fortunately, I am not one of them. I have cheated death many times, and it holds no fear or apprehension for me. Life is an adventure, but so many people lose track of what's important and live in fear. I think it is important to live every day without fear and embrace what that day brings. When the day of my demise finally comes, I will embrace it, knowing that I have left a good and happy life, full of great memories. The only fear I have is the fear of life not lived." Rob spent his last couple of weeks in Gibraltar, in a hospital, being taken care of by good people. He liked Gibraltar. He would visit this place with his camper van frequently during the last few years. He would also go to Spain. He also liked taking holidays in Greece, and he loved Cyprus as well. Interesting thing. Yeah, I like these destinations too. Last 2 summers we did road trips to Greece. A year ago I was in Cyprus for the first time. Spain, of course, multiple times. I liked it as well. But Gibraltar was a special place for me as well. I went to Gibraltar 5 years ago in spring. It was March 1st, I think, the first day of spring. I stayed near Gibraltar in La Linea de la Concepcion, which, if translated, means like the line of new understanding or of new beginning. And I stayed at a place which was owned by Tom. My name is Thomas. No, his name was Thomas as well, with H, and mine is without H. And he was a trader. He was a trader working in Gibraltar. What a coincidence, or maybe not. So, I went to Gibraltar and it was a very inspiring memory for me. I climbed the rock, the big rock. It took a few hours. I took the hardest route and I wasn't really prepared. I was still carrying my backpack with all this stuff because I didn't check in yet to my Airbnb. I didn't have like proper shoes for climbing and nothing was proper, but I had so much energy. I wanted to climb so badly that, like I walked into Gibraltar, then a few kilometers to this rock, and then, just climbed for a few hours, and here I am on the top. And when I climbed, I immediately saw Singapore pointing at me. It was like the table with destinations and how many kilometers are to those destinations. And Singapore was the first thing I saw. Another coincidence or not, I went to Singapore afterwards because I was hearing a calling. And Singapore was a place of my inspiration as well. I was there 4 times and magical things happened there. But that's part of another story. So, Rob, you will be missed. Life will not be the same without you. You were a great mentor, a phenomenal trader, and yeah, now it's the time for us to set our own mark in history. It's our time to act. It's our time to fulfill our potential, because you never know when life ends. And when it ends like this. And that's all. So live fully.